refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Oh, I messed it up. I need more cheers. I need more cheers. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness, tearing up. Hey, how y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another great episode of FFC. That's right, baby. We are playoff bound. We are in the midst of the playoffs. So how did everybody enjoy those first games of round one Super Wildcard weekend? I enjoyed them. As a matter of fact, I am currently 5-1 in my playoff predictions. I did lose. Texas put belt to ass to them doggone Steelers, boy. They made them. That was a wonderful game. All the games are great. You had a great, I don't know if it was great, but you had another Josh Allen comeback win. You had the Patriots stomp on them Chargers. They're not ready. And then you got what's his name? Justin Herbert over here talking to the media saying, I haven't figured it out yet. Oh, somebody got to give these people some media coaching tips. That is just something that you just don't say after a loss like this. You just can't do that. But we got a lot to talk about today. Let's get started with our first playoff game. What banner is that? I mean, it was an easy one, Bills versus Jags. I mean, like I said, the Jags made the game look interesting. They made it look good. But at the end of the day, we all knew what was coming. Josh Allen being down last 2.5 minutes of the game, he ends up scoring, leaving only like a minute and some change. There was enough time for the Jags to come back, but there was also enough time for the Jags to throw an interception. It was a tip pass. They got the pick. They sealed the game. Game is over. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't boring. It wasn't that it wasn't interesting. I came into this game with there's just no way the Bills lose this game. There's just no way. Just the Jaguars to me just didn't have enough in the script to win this game and beat the Bills. Again, I will keep saying it until something stops it. But I mean, I've never seen a carry to the Super Bowl quite like this. And the Bills are literally being hand carried to the Super Bowl. Okay. It was like I said, it was a decent game. Shout out to James Cook. To me, he had a great game. He in the playoffs, what you need is a run game. And that's exactly what they were trying to establish with let's look at his numbers real quick. They talking to the great Champ Bailey. Let's go look at these numbers real quick. This one. Yep, because they won 27-24. Let me get these game stats. Let me look at the box scores. All right, so James Cook actually had horrible rushing yards. But they did, the Jacksonville defense That's the one thing they were going to do is like, dude, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us in the air. And that's exactly what he did. Because he had 273 yards, only one touchdown, but he attacked the air, 28 for 35, which is actually really good. 80% completion. He ran the ball for only 33 yards. So again, the Jacksonville defense put a stipend on the run game, but they couldn't stop the passing. That's the only thing they couldn't stop. They just couldn't stop the passing. So Josh Allen ended up with 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown. So it was basically a Josh Allen Super Bowl or Josh Allen playoff game. Next game. I want to jump down to the Texans and the Steelers. I'm going to go back up to the other game, but I want to talk about this game. It's the freshest game. It just happened. And look, a lot happened in this game. They had a hold of the Texans for a minute. I mean, they were turning Stroud over. I think he had 3 turnovers in that game. It was close. And then you know what happened? You know, it was a significant thing that happened in the game. And I think it happened somewhere in the third quarter. Everybody over the age of 35 stopped. If you were old in this game, oh my God, all your aches and pains showed. Like it got real bad as the game progressed. The age just showed in this game. It was ugly. It was very, very ugly. The Steelers looked very old. Look here, I just don't know if Rodgers is going to be able to get one with this team. I don't think Rodgers is going to get another one. I think we should hear soon. He actually goes ahead and calls it because I don't know where he goes from here. These young boys are more aggressive in this football game than you are right now. There's nothing there. Here's how bad it was in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin just said, you know what? I'm gonna call it. Like, what? Everybody else got fired. He decided to say, I quit. I'm gonna step down. I don't think this is for me anymore. Like, whoa. Now, it was a shocker when they fired Harbaugh. That was a shocker. They fired the kicker, they fired the coach. It was just a firing all over the place. He quit. Mike Tomlin said, deuces. Mike Tomlin said, y'all figure it out. Now, I don't know if Mike Tomlin's phone is going to ring as quickly as Harbaugh. I mean, to the point, I think Harbaugh might have a job already. He's literally trying to figure out which one he wants. And no, one of them is not Miami. Now, could Mike Tomlin head to Miami? He could, if that's what they're looking for. But he quit. He's done everything he could. And here's the part that's funny. He quit with a record no one will ever touch as long as they coach. He has the longest winning regular season of any football coach. Does that mean anything? It does if you are a new Pittsburgh Steelers coach coming into this organization and they're expecting wins. But Mike Tomlin was here for 18 years and he's won every season. What's your problem? We've given you everything we've given him. It's going to be any coach that comes into Pittsburgh for the next 4 to 5 years, they're just going to have hell because Pittsburgh will never be this again. No. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one better. Whoever takes in the Pittsburgh coach. Okay, so real quick, Harbaugh is expected to interview with the Falcons, the Giants, and the Titans this week. Really? So he sees something in Cam Ward. I don't know what he sees in Atlanta, to be quite honest with you. And Who's the Giants? And Giants, I can see you got Jackson Dart, so that I can understand. Dolphins complete interview with Stefanski. Oh God, no. Buccaneers interview Giants interim coach Mike Kafka for their vacant offensive coordinator position. No, what they need to do is vacate their head coaching job because Todd Bowles is trash. Todd Bowles is trash. Anyway, but anyway, let's get back to the game. Kudos to the Texans. I mean, what they displayed defensively was unmatched. They made Aaron Rodgers feel it the entire game like he did not have a breath. So many times you looked on the sideline, Aaron Rodgers cussed him to the sideline. They let him feel it all. The entire time you turned around, Steelers were in 3rd and 13, 2nd and 15. Like they were always behind the line of scrimmage. They were always behind the line of scrimmage from where they started. It was a Addison arrested on Monday in Florida. Boy, y'all come to Florida and act up. I don't understand. So kudos to the Texans for moving on to the next round. They do have to face my Patriots. This is gonna be a good game. I'm so scared. I ain't gonna lie. Because boy, oh boy, these Texans are a vicious, young, hungry, and aggressive defense. They are amazing. So again, kudos to the Texans for moving on to the next round. Steelers lost their coach. They got to deal with DK Metcalf. They got Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey. And I don't see nothing good coming. Again, they're gonna go down. The Steelers dynasty, like whatever they had for all this time, it was yesterday now. It was literally in the past. And we will never see anything like that ever again. The only coach to have such a tenure. Congratulations. And you got a Super Bowl out of it. It's not like you just didn't win one. No. He's got a Super Bowl ring with Ben Roethlisberger. So, hey, kudos to Mike Tomlin for an illustrious career. And I am actually very interested to see where he goes next. I'm very interested. Mind you, if people pay attention to, he was paid by the Steelers. So I'm assuming with him stepping down, either they've already paid it all to him or he might pay a little bit back. But I'm not sure how that part works. But they did because I think he was actually on for another year or two based on his contract, but I'm not sure how that part irons out. All right, so my next game that I want to go to wasn't a disappointing game. It was one I kind of expected to happen. I did expect the 49ers to beat the Eagles in this game. Look, the Eagles had a great record, right? But those numbers for each player are horrible. You got a disgruntled A.J. Brown fighting with the coach in the last game. So he's out. He's out again. He's going back to his tight end status wherever he goes next. But if you really looked at it, the Eagles didn't have a great season within games. They just won the game, right? They didn't get them much. But when you look at the inner linings of things, like I told you guys, I don't believe in any team that is on Hard Knocks. You know who's on Hard Knocks this year? All 4 teams in the NFC East. They were all featured on Hard Knocks. You know what happened to all 4 teams? Dak Prescott was named one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year and had one of the worst records and the worst defenses in the league this year. Jackson Dart lost his best receiver. He lost his coach, and he damn near lost his life with the way they keep using him in the games. JD5 is out until next year. They beat that boy up. The Washington Commanders had a very rough season this year. And then you had the Philadelphia Eagles with the most ugliest numbers for a 13-win team. And guess where they all are? Not in the playoff. I get it. The Eagles made it. But look, no, you were right. You were heading right on out, as they did. 49ers put a decent game. It was a very low-scoring game pretty much through. But at the end of the day, what you need to do is win the game, and that's what the 49ers did. They have another road game. And we'll talk about, because I'm not giving my picks today. I give those in shorts. So always stay tuned to the shorts that come out this week. So the games are Saturday and Sunday, so I'll do my shorts on Friday. I'll give my predictions on Friday. What's next for the Eagles? They're going to make some changes. They're probably back bringing another coordinator. They got to get the ball in the air better than they have this year. It really wasn't good. Saquon might be there still. They might not. We'll see. We'll see. If I'm the Eagles, I'm really not trying to give up any running backs I have. I am trying to keep those, but receivers, I can like Smitty can move to the 1, and we're gonna get rid of AJ Brown. We can just get ready for the next phase. We got free agent frenzy coming up. We've got the draft coming up. So the Eagles will be fine. They'll still be a dominant NFC team. Maybe not 13. They'll probably drop down to more 11, 12, maybe even 10 wins. I think a lot of this was just built off what they had, and a lot of what they had right now, it's going to kind of like dismantle a little bit, and they're going to have to, get back into the lab and redo everything. But congratulations to the San Francisco 49ers on making it to the next round, as they should. I mean, look, you lost at home to the Seahawks. And the Seahawks had a great game that game. They came for you. And now they're literally standing in the doorway of you having home field advantage at the Super Bowl in your own house. So we will see how this plays out. Next, we have Rams and the Panthers. Like, look, as I've said before, many a times, the Panthers got into this game simply because another team won. They lost their game. If they would have beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? That on me. All right. If they would have beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would have had a little bit more defense for them going into this game. But they didn't beat Tampa. Tampa beat them. They got in because another team helped. There's no way you could have expected me to look you dead in the face and say, because of that reason, they're going to come in this game at home and they're going to beat the Rams. Hey, you lost your rabbit ass mind. There's no way. There's no way. Now, mind you, in this day, there was one away game and there was one home game. Both home games were winning. So I had to pick one team on the road and one team at home. On the road team was the Rams. That home team that same day was Chicago. Worked out. You see what I'm saying? But there was no way you could have had me pick the Rams losing this game just because the Panthers got there, just because it's been 10 years before, since they've gotten there. No. I don't care about that. I really don't. Because if it was that important, they would have did it themselves, right? Oh, yeah, they didn't. They lost. Tampa Bay did everything they could to get themselves into this game. And it all relied on the fact of two other teams. That's all. To me, Tampa Bay still won, right? They got the dub on the record. They got the better record on the season. This division stuff gets a little annoying when you get a losing team in the playoffs that shouldn't be there and get right out of there because they shouldn't have been there. Did they make it look good? Of course they did. NFL know how to write a script. But at the end of the day, the Rams took the win. Now we have three teams in the NFC West in the playoff, in the second round. That's crazy. I like seeing stuff like it's weird. It's weird. Hey, they did everything they could to win their games, and they split the division. So all three teams got to get in. But I like it. It really should be winning record getting. I'm really annoyed with sometimes with the whole division thing. For me, a division person should get put out if their record just doesn't match somebody else's. That's me. But NFL know what they're doing, right? We're carrying Josh Allen to the Super Bowl. But congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. Another playoff win, another spot in the second round of the playoff. This is where the Rams hurt themselves. getting here. They lose here. Because they only made it to the Super Bowl once, getting past this point, and they lost in the Super Bowl. That's why I don't know if this is the Rams' year. I don't know. I don't know if Stafford can get to that second one. He's fighting. He's fighting. He really is. And he's got the receivers. He's got the running backs. He's got the defense. They have everything. And we will talk about how they do the next round. I thought I was going to give you something. Nope. Everything's coming on Friday. All right. Next, we have Packers-Bears. Again, there was two games that day. Only one home team was going to win. And Chicago was the home team. Panthers were the home team. Obviously, the Panthers didn't win, right? But I went with the Rams in that game, and I went with Chicago in this game. I just didn't think. Look, I watched a lot of Packers games this year, a lot, and the Packers just don't have enough. I think the receivers are actually a lot weaker than I expected them to be. All they have is Josh Jacobs, and if they got to get this offense back on track before they don't have Josh Jacobs anymore, because he's getting older now. He's been in the league a minute. But I think they do have a backup, which is good. Right? So they'll be able to run a two-headed monster here in the future. But they've got to get some better wide receivers for this quarterback. And if it ain't the receivers, do we need to start looking at Jordan Love? Is he the future quarterback for this team? We got a lot to talk about this summer, guys. Oh, the summer is going to be amazing. A lot of topics that we're going to discuss going into this next season, getting us ready for fantasy. But Chicago showed a lot of grit in this game. They showed a lot of fight, and I love the fact that, again, Caleb Williams, and they even mentioned it, he's been in this position 6 times, and he won 6 games coming back. Out of the 18 games, he had 6 comeback wins. That is very, very impressive. That means this kid knows how to put the game on his back when he needs to, and he knows how to attack the field. Okay? They are going to have a tough matchup with these Rams. It's going to be a tough matchup. I see this game looking like the same like the same matchup the Rams had with the Saints in that game. And I think that's the one where the Rams went further into the playoffs, beating the Saints. So I think this is, I don't know who's going to win. We're not going to give out who's winning yet, but I feel like the matchup is going to have the same hyped energy as that Super Bowl. I think it was in 2019. That playoff was like in 2019. So I think it might be similar to that. Mind you, that is the Super Bowl. The Rams lost to my Patriots. He didn't get 6. He got 5. He's going to win 6, but he got 5 at this one. He got 5. I got that one in the closet. The Jared Goff. That's why I rip on Jared Goff so much, because of him I got a Super Bowl sweater. All right. Next up, we have Patriots and the Chargers. This game was actually this is the one game I was nervous about. The one game, because the Chargers defense is really good. The offense can move. Everything's predicated on Justin Herbert. And it came down to the point where Herbert has to win this game. And as we have seen, time after time after time after time after time. Okay, Google, how many years has Justin Herbert been in the NFL? All right. So Justin Herbert has played 6 years in the NFL. I don't think Justin Herbert has even one game where he has come back from being down to win the game. I don't think he has one. Not one. Like, I'm dead. Please, somebody look up the stat and correct me. Okay, Google. How many comeback wins does Justin Herbert have in the NFL? Yeah, and you never know. Let me ask my phone, Google. How many comeback wins does Justin Herbert have in the NFL? Okay, Justin Herbert's career fourth quarter comebacks and game win. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Ain't no way to say 15. Oh, 15 out of 6 years. That's horrible. That's horrible. Caleb Williams only been in the league 3 years, and he's got 6. Oh, that's bad. But we all seen this. We've seen many times Justin Herbert does not win those games. I don't know where that stat line came from. Maybe college, because NFL, I don't see it. And hey, I don't watch all the Chargers games. And maybe they were down 7-0 and they won 13-7. I don't know. But from the games I've seen, I've never seen Justin Herbert come back and win a game. I'm sorry. So I'll let the stat be right. How about that? The stat says 15, coach says 0. Let's go with the stats. Last time I checked, though, he just lost, didn't he? Trying to come back? Okay. That's okay. Anyway. So that was my only thing about this game is if it came down to Justin Herbert, Patriots should win. And that's exactly what happened. It came down. He got knocked. He didn't get knocked out, but boy, when he got up, I swear to you, he was crying. He got hit by the 2 defenders at the same time. They cracked him. I know he got up crying. He had to. That face just looked so discomforted. They rearranged his guts. It was bad. And then he goes on the podium, and they ask him about his, winded playoff drought because, again, Justin Herbert does not have, I don't think he's a playoff win. His answer to that was he hasn't figured it out yet. You've been in the league 6 years, my boy. When you gonna figure it out? You've been in the NFL for 6 years. I mean, I've seen people be in the league 3 years not figured out, and they've gotten less playing time than you. I'm just saying. When you gonna figure it out, my boy? 6 years in the NFL. You've gotten to the playoffs twice, I think, and you've exited twice. It's pretty bad. Other than that, you haven't gotten in because you can't get your team in there. Because we don't just rely on Justin Herbert to win football games. Now, do we? Absolutely not. So congratulations to my 6-time world champion Patriots. Yeah. We rocking the paraphernalia today, people. We're not winning one this year, but we want to look good in our loss. It's okay. You can talk noise. I'm gonna throw the 6 up. What you want? Okay. I'm gonna start wearing the other one. The 5th one is like a high five people when I wear them now. Oh my goodness. Anyway, if I had the Tampa jersey, I would have 6 and 7, but so close. They messed up my order, or they messed up my wife's order when she tried to get it for me. That's the only jersey I don't have is the Tampa Bay Tom Brady jersey. But I'll get it. I want the Baker Mayfield if he can get one with this team. I'd rather take the Baker Mayfield jersey, but we'll see. All right, so moving on, we have one more game, right? Who did we not talk about? Or did we talk about everybody? Yeah, we talked about everybody. Those are all 6 games. So out of all those games, I am 5-1. The only game I got wrong were the Steelers and the Texans. I thought those old men were going to get it done. I thought they were going to put maturity on the table and display it. No, they got whooped by these young boys. They got destroyed. It was funny. Hey, how you doing, Kat? How you doing? Niners for the dub. Yes, sir. Herbert is 0-3 in the playoffs. Okay. That's even worse. Okay. I said 6 years, 0-3. Out of 6 years, you're going to. And here, 6 years making it to the playoff 3 times. See, that's actually really good. Okay? But you've done nothing. You let the Jaguars come back on you and beat you. Again, Herbert, to me, has no winning grit. Do you know that's something I noticed when they used to show training camps, right? And they showed a lot of Justin Herbert one. I think it was the second year in the NFL. They showed a lot of Justin Herbert. You know what they did that year? Because he lost. In the playoffs. That was the year he lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs. But you know what they did a lot that year? When they tried to get him on camera, he was switching his jersey with people so the cameraman couldn't find him. He was wearing the wrong helmet. He was hiding his, like he was always hiding. Like, dude, you're big. It looked like he was acting like a child, to be quite honest. It had a good season. They had a good season. They went to the playoffs and then they lost. They got beat badly. They were winning and then had Jaguars just put up all the points to come back on them and win. And then he kind of digressed ever since. He's digressed ever since. The only reason why they're here in this position where they were is because of Jim Harbaugh, because he's an amazing coach. Same thing he did with the 49ers and got them into the playoffs, got them to a Super Bowl, actually. And he just lost them to the to the Ravens. But that's good coaching. And what's happening with Herbert is he's getting good coaching. What's happening is this organization is not getting good quarterback. That's the problem. He is literally the problem. And hey, how you doing, Moons? And then literally until the Chargers, either he figures it out or they get another quarterback. This is just what you're gonna get from the Chargers. And here's what I'm gonna tell you: he ain't got a lot of time left. Mahomes ain't about to be injured forever. And old boy Broncos is having a stellar career right now with his coach, which is amazing because he's an offensive-minded coach and they've been winning the game offensively and defensively. People forget that about I can't think of his name right now. The Broncos coach. He is a great mind defensively and offensively, and he knows how to put he knows how to create a staff for them to work with the boys or work with all these men. So I just don't think with Herbert is going to be the downfall of the Chargers. It sucks to say, but where has he shown any tenacity to win a football game? So anyway, now before we ride out, we got one more thing to talk about, and that is, where you at? Yes, sir. In the season firings, we have a lot of coaches see that door. Kevin Stefanski, for one. To me, I think a lot of it was just the treatment of the players, to be quite honest with you. I don't think the organization liked how he handled the players. And that's both. That's Dylan Gabriel and Shadir. I think a lot of that was his handling of the quarterback situation was atrocious. It was just really, really bad. Okay. And if they want to move forward with one of these two, they want to do it with somebody fresh, and probably they're going to go get a college coach to come in if they can't find. They're probably going to get a college coach, somebody that can work with these younger minds and try to get some wins for this organization. They still got to deal with Watson, but they let Kevin Stefanski go. The Atlanta Falcons let the GM and Raheem Morris. Jeez. They let Raheem Morris go. Now look, y'all know why they got fired? It's simple. Penix should have never been to that. He should have never got drafted to that team. And he gave him 2 years to fix it. They didn't. It was a bad signing. It was a bad draft. Even the $180 million that you gave to Kirk Cousins was a bad signing. That's what I mean by bad signing. Him coming there wasn't a bad idea. Kirk Cousins coming there was a great move. Paying him $180 million was stupid as hell. That made no sense. Then to turn around and draft Michael Penix, that was stupid. So that's why they both got fired. It just did not turn out the way the organization. Arthur Smith ain't playing no more. I put it this way. He went with the longevity with Matt Ryan. That's why he brought Matt Ryan back for president of operations. He had longevity with certain people, but he's going to put those certain people on his staff. And I think when you don't win, you're going. He's going to give you a certain amount of time, but it's not going to be like it's been for Atlanta for a whole, for as long as it's been like this. No, Arthur is old. He knows he's coming, and he's going to start. Atlanta's going to get shifted, if that makes sense to anybody. They're going to feel a shift inside and outside, meaning inside the organization and outside in the locker room, because Arthur wants his team and his organization to be made something of. You got the tight end who's actually becoming something now. You've got a great running back in Bijan Robinson. You've got the receivers. You've got Drake London. Oh, my goodness. Do you know what you're missing? A quarterback. That's it. That's all you're missing is a quarterback. So, and good coaching. So, Arthur Smith he's basically putting his foot down with how things are going to be moving forward. I feel the intensity in it. I love it. I'm a big Arthur Smith fan. I have been for a long time. One of the few owners that literally built a whole new stadium and decided that every food in there is going to be family friendly, affordable. Like, we're not going to sit here and rob these people of food. Okay. You look, and it's great food. It's not like you're getting cheap food. It's great food. You have to understand, certain people just know how to appease to the public. He wants the public in his stadium. It's the only way he makes money. So how is he going to get him in there? With great games and great food. He got the great food. He needs some great games. Raheem Morris and the GM are out. Mike McDaniels is out from Miami. He'll go get an offensive coordinator job somewhere. He might even go back to San Francisco. It seems like the gang is getting back together again. They got Rob Salsa, so he might go back home to San Francisco. Who knows? But what I will say is, who are we talking about? Oh, Mike McDaniels. It was good, but it wasn't good. There was nothing good about this. He had one playoff run, I think. And everything he did offensive. Here's how you know he's a great offensive mind. Everything he did with his offense had to gear around two and not getting hit. Dude, they won a lot of games doing that. The problem is, when his quarterback got hit, when his quarterback got knocked out, when he couldn't have his quarterback the way he wanted to have his quarterback, they could not win a game. They couldn't do anything. His offense needs to be geared around him. You know what I mean by that? You can't run his offense, you can't be here. Simple as that. I'm not going to change for you. You need to be able to run this offense because it ain't hard. If you actually look at Mike McDaniel's offense, it ain't hard. It ain't hard. He designs moves for people to get open, which is amazing. But what I mean by that, he's not making anything complicated. The complications come when your quarterback can't see down the field. When he doesn't make 3 reads down the field. You got to make 3 reads in the Mike McDaniel's offense. You got to see the field. Tua can't see the field. Put it this way. You put Mike McDaniels over there with Lamar Jackson. I tell you what, that offense will look piss poor. Do you want to know why? Because Lamar Jackson is another quarterback who doesn't check his progressions. He sees 1 to 2 reads. He either has to throw it or he has to run because he is a mobile quarterback. Their vision is not here. Their vision is here. There's a difference. He needs to go to an offense with a wider quarterback vision. Period. If he gets that, he'll be fine. He won't be good as a head coach, but he'll be fine as an offensive coordinator with a lot of wins if he can go to a team like that. But the Dolphins, they're stuck with the Tua contract. I don't know why you paid Tua Tagovailoa $53 million. I just don't get that. I really don't. And here you are, looking hot, like a hot mess. They need a new coach. They need a new coordinator. They need a new defense. They need everything new. The Miami Dolphins may not be good for the next 3 years because I don't know who's coming in to coach. Unless Mike Tomlin wants to come down here to sunny Miami, he'll get a lot of people come shooting over to the team to come play with the free agency. I promise you that. But other than that, I don't know where else his team goes. It has to be a Mike Tomlin because that's the only person that can come in, instill discipline, get this team ready in 2 years. In 2 years, okay? Like he can get them a winning record probably in 1, but he'll get him in the playoffs too. Other than that, I don't see this team being any good in the next 4 years, 3 to 4 years. I'm so sorry. They don't have enough. They've lost too much, and they got too much money on their salary cap eaten with Tua Tagovailoa. So I don't know. Harbaugh was another firing, and that one was a tough one, but it wasn't. You got to think fans have actually been ousting him for the last 3 years. If you really watch what's been going on in Baltimore, a lot, and not that he's a bad coach, they just don't want his style of coaching in Baltimore anymore. They've dealt with it for 18 years. They've gotten one championship out of it. They've gotten the best defenses coming from it, but a lot of fans have been they've been asking for a new change. Excuse me, and they got it. It was just that time. Will he go somewhere else and be successful? He could. As I read off earlier, it was the Giants, the Titans, and I forgot what the other team was. I thought it'd be the Raiders because they'll have the number 1 draft pick. They have a good running game. They have a decent defense, and they got a good tight end. The Titans do have a little bit more in youth, and so do the Giants. So it could be the Giants or the Titans for Jim Harbaugh. And again, last but not least, we just found out yesterday that Mike Tomlin had stepped down from being the Steelers head coach. Now, mind you, this is after he walked off the field on the last game of the season, or the second to the last game of the season, one of the two. Talk about these two right here. The reason I got it. Undefeated, not undefeated, but another winning record on his tab. And then he left them. He said, I'm out. I can't do it. I'm gone. So what will happen with Mike Tomlin? Again, I think Miami is a good spot for him if he continues to coach further past the Steelers. I even think the Raiders, again, they have the number 1 draft pick. He can get the quarterback he wants coming there. They got a good running game. So it's his spot. He wasn't fired. It's like, I wonder, should we be talking about him because he didn't get fired? He walked away. Because everybody else got fired. You know what I mean? He chucked the deuce. He cleared out his own locker. I just something I just didn't see. Now, mind you, I spoke about his exit a couple years ago. You know what happened when I spoke about it? He got paid. So I was like, oh, well, there goes that myth. But now that myth wasn't fake. He just couldn't finish off with these boys and say, yeah, I am going. I'm going. Oh, my goodness. That's an ugly hat. You know what? And ugly people win so much, don't they? They just win so much. You feel me? You know what happened? Y'all put on your best clothes. Y'all put on that black, red, and gold. And y'all got belt to ass by the Seahawks in your own home. Now, you do get your revenge. I wonder what colors y'all gonna wear this time. Don't put on that black. Don't put on that sexy black. But we'll see. We'll see. Because y'all put on y'all best gowns. Y'all did. Y'all look glamorous in that game. And lost. Again, you get your rematch. On the road this time. In Seattle. Against the I'll give them number 2 defense. I'm not taking number 1 away from Texans. But you got it. Y'all already got split on the season. So this is one more, The Seattle Seahawks are literally standing inside of your house right now, waiting for you to see if you can backdoor and lock the door. Let's see. 49ers, what you can do this weekend. Talk about my hat. At least we won with these colors. 6 times. 6 times. Y'all got 4. Don't get me wrong. Ain't nobody hating. Y'all got 4. And by the same man. Y'all got 4. Ain't nobody hating. 6 is heavier. See, I think Mike Tomlin might be done definitely for a year. Keep in mind that a team would have to trade for time. Exactly. So his contract, and as I wondered, so that answered that question. He actually would have to get bought out, basically, or traded to another team because he's still under contract by Pittsburgh because they paid him that year I told you this might be it. They ended up paying him. And I think it was a 5-year contract. He's only played 2 or 3 years of that contract as the coach there. So he's absolutely correct. It would have to be a trade for Mike Tomlin, or he basically just have to sit out, they said, a year before he can come back and coach. My bad. You know why? And Coach made a mistake because I saw the first name David, and I got a homie here named David. I'm so sorry. Thank you for tuning in, David. I got a homie here that's in that comes in. His name is David as well. And he is the 49ers fan. So I do apologize. That soliloquy was for him because I thought it was him. But I'm going to give it to you anyway since you still calling my ugly with y'all Bengals white. How many times you losing that ugly color? Exactly. Yeah. You thought I was still going to leave you alone now. You corrected yourself, and now you get it. And per the Bengals, yeah, I'm sorry if you're a Bengals fan. I'm so sorry. Here's why I'm worried about the Bengals and their heads right now. I don't think you all have a plan on what's going to happen because you got a quarterback who's already in his youth talking about, retirement. And again, look, I want you guys to pay attention to things. When Andrew Luck played football, he was great, right? But you know what else he was at? On the ground or healing, literally recovering for months at a time. And you know what he had to do? He quit. He said, I cannot do this anymore. I can't live a life in the hospital, in the doctor's offices. Like, he's not home with his family because he's recovering. And that's detrimental to some people's psyche. And why would that happen? Because not one time in his entire tenure did the Colts get that kid protection. Not one time. Here we are, fast forwarding over here to the Cincinnati Bengals. They draft a quarterback in Joe Burrow. And what happens? Not a single piece of protection. Joe Burrow gets hurt his first year, doing everything he can to just win games, right? Second year comes back. And where does he go? To the Super Bowl, where he should have won. Oh, my God. Aaron Donald just snatched it away from him. And you know what? It was well-deserved by Aaron Donald because I'm telling you, Ramsey ate grass twice in that game. And the second time was on that play that all Burrow, and it's not that all he had to do was throw it. That's what he was doing. And he just got hit. Oh, my God. The timing couldn't have been perfect. And it snatched it away. And then he got hurt again. And he ain't been back to the playoffs ever since because he stayed hurt. The year he come back this year with only 4 wins on the record, had a chance to do it. Couldn't do it. And it's up here. It's up here. This dude runs for his life almost every game. They don't have protection for him. You want to know why, too? This is what happens when you pay your quarterback before you're supposed to, because he has all the money off the cap. You have no money to go anywhere. If you would have protected him by paying for things first, worried about his contract later, you might have had something, but you worried about his contract first, and now you have nothing to pay to protect him. I don't think people pay attention to that part. When you pay a quarterback, he has no protection. Tom Brady, his only max contract came with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were already an established team, right? He only was there for 2 years, so they paid him $30 million a year. Highest he has ever gotten in a contract, by the way. Yeah. Patriots never had a max deal. As a matter of fact, you can go back on many accounts right before the season started. And what did it state? Tom Brady takes a pay cut. Tom Brady takes a pay cut. Tom Brady takes a pay cut. Now, he got extensions in the year, and then before the season started, he took a pay cut. Why would he take a pay cut? Well, he had a top 5 defense every year. He had probably a top 3 offensive line every year. He did not need but regular receivers. And how many championships does he have? Really 8, because he's got one with Tampa and he's got one with the Michigan Wolverines. Ah! This is just one tenure. Oh, man. Thing about the Bengals is they are a small market. Yeah, they are, because I forgot before this coach came, the coach that was there, the black dude that was there before, and anytime when Ocho Cinco was all them was there, they never went and got anybody in the big market. Anytime they got somebody, it was coming off the practice squad. It was coming off literally who they drafted, like the market itself, like the free agent market. Like they never really paid for anybody. Like it was the craziest thing. That you are very right about that. Like I said, you watch a full Burrow's interview, it's not that worrying that he wants to leave or retire. Media, and they do, and that's what I'm saying. It's a conversation he was having, but I'm saying at the state of his career and at everything that he's dealt with, and it's only been what 7 years for him, 7-8 years for him, and he's already in the mind frame of thinking about retiring. And it's just for me as an older person that's watching this game. Here's my thing: I don't expect you to want to play 20 years in this league. That was for the older people, where that's all they had. If people don't have to spend their life in this sport, they can go do whatever else they want in life. My issues come for me is, would this conversation be happening if you had a great offensive line and if you were always on top in the division every year? Like, would you have that same context of conversation of retiring if you were always the division leader? That's where I come in. See, that's where I have to like play a little bit of devil's advocate in that. Because when you're winning, right? What are you retiring for? You know what I mean? Like here's my thing. I gave another example. Why did Gronkowski retire so early? He won a lot of Super Bowls. 3, I think. For a tight end, that's a lot. But prior, like within those wins, what was he? Hurt a lot. Like he was banged up. Okay? And look, he just didn't want to feel that anymore. He won rings. He's a champion. He had a great career. He's got a lot of money. I'm retired. So in a winning aspect, he retired too, because pain is a lot to deal with when you play the way he plays. Scatterbo, he keep coming out the way when he come back off this injury and he play like this, he's not going to last long in the NFL. Because his mind is like, I can't. It's one of those things. Brady can last forever because Brady was never touched. And he was barely touched. Like, so where would it be? Where would he want to retire if he's barely getting hit? If he's one of the top quarterbacks of the year every year, he's got a Super Bowl. He's always in the Super Bowl. Where would you want to retire at? You see what I'm saying? But when you're a Andrew Luck, a Joe Burrow, somebody who's just tired of losing, tired of it not working out, it can wane on you a bit more than somebody who's constantly winning. There's two sides of that. You know what I mean? And maybe the addiction of the sport just isn't there for him. You know, maybe this was fun, and maybe he's just looking further, as in, hey, if I never make it, at least I played this sport. I got paid from it. He's not a bad guy. He lives a good life. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to worry if these words, not worry, but you just have to think if these words are coming out of his mouth because of the state of his career and where it's at right now. Because maybe if he had more wins on his career, maybe even one Super Bowl on his career, would he be saying this with a better protected offensive line? That's just my devil's advocate on the whole younger players speaking on retirement at a very young age. The Bengals O-line without Burrow was actually one of the best. Burrow holds the ball a lot and refuses to play under center. And there's the other thing. Is it that they can't find the style of offense for him to play? because you are absolutely right. Any other quarterback that was coming in there under center, like Joe Flacco, he was doing fine. He's older and couldn't get the wins. That's pretty much what it was for me. But if they would have had another younger quarterback, maybe. Me personally, I don't understand why they benched the other cat. Like, I thought he was doing fine. He struggled. You're going to struggle. Joe Burrow been a quarterback all the time. I don't have a lot of games on my resume like he does. Like, you got to give me time to lose and figure it out. And I don't think they did that with him. I think he started losing, they booted him and brought in an older guy that didn't win either. But Burrow does hold the ball a lot because that's that big shot mentality from LSU. Like, you're right. And now, could it be Burrow? If you notice too, a lot of their classes, when Chase first got there, he ran a lot of slants. He don't run that many slants anymore. He doesn't get so. It's also too where Burrow doesn't have this. Where are the routes for him to get the ball out of his hand quickly? To me, the chemistry with this team died when they missed the Super Bowl. When they didn't win that Super Bowl, the chemistry for this team died. You went out and paid 2 wide receivers all that money, and you still don't have protection for Burrow. Not the way he needs it if you're going to have him run the way he wants. And if he can't run inside, if he can't go behind center and play football, I'm going to tell you something. That is really bad. That is horrible, to be quite honest with you. If you cannot play quarterback under center, you're not a very good quarterback in my eyes. You have to be able to do both. If you can't, like for instance, Russell Wilson can't play under center. Drew Brees, he actually could play under center, and he was short, but they did have more shotgun play. But what he did, that's why he had out of the shotgun. I mean, he would drop back there 8 steps out of shotgun from under center. Excuse me. But they had plays designed for that because he still ran shotgun. But they had plays designed for him under the center. Another reason why they can't play on the center in Cincinnati, well, they can't run the ball under the center. I like Chase Brown, but he is not a zero gap runner. He's not an AB gap runner. He's got to go outside, or he's got to catch the passes outside, or he can slip in the middle and bounce out. But there is not how many times under center is he going behind? And you know what happened? When you took the fullback out of football, this is what you get. So figure it out, coaches. So I'm not gonna put this all on Burrow holding the ball. Or Burrow can only run shotgun. Y'all took fullbacks out of football. You all took paychecks out of running backs' hands. You all said quarterbacks got to go out here and throw the ball 50 to 60 times a game. You all did that, not us fans. You all did that to these people. So guess what I'm going to blame? The NFL. Somebody getting the blame. Somebody got to catch these hands. It all can't be on the quarterback. It all can't blame the running back. People get pieces of blame. But ultimately, when you go under the umbrella, why is all of this happening? Because you make quarterbacks throw the ball 50 to 60 times. Running backs don't get the ball but 12 times a game. And they're only basically made to be a safety net. Tight ends don't block anymore. Go figure. You want more weapons on the field. You want more weapons on the field. You got quarterbacks throwing the ball 50 to 60 times, right? But yet, here's the catch. Out of those 50 to 60 times, how many did he complete? Because the game of football in 4 quarters still hasn't changed. So, where are all those passes going? Right there. Let me see. Right there on the white line. I'm pointing to the field. That's where they're going. Because, see, receivers are only still catching 5 to 7 catches a game. And that's only 1, maybe 2. Because the other guys are catching 3. So, if you got a quarterback throwing the ball 50 to 60 times a game, and you got the running back only running 12, where are the rest of these balls going? They're going right there, incomplete pass. So that means out of 50 times throwing, the quarterback is still only completing 25, maybe 35 if you're good. So that means 20% of your passes, 30% of your passes are incomplete. When that could have went to running, helped out the game in a way. So again, I can't completely blame Burrow when he plays in a team that is a low market value team. They always have been. That I think the only time they really spent money was literally on these key players right here. The Red Rocket didn't get no contract like this. Ocho Cinco didn't get paid like this. Carson Palmer didn't get paid like this. It's been a low market team as it always has been. You just finally got somebody with high market value, 2 people, by the way. But nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And for Burrow to hold, okay, we can sit here and say Burrow he holds the ball too much, right? We can put the blame on Burrow, right? I'm so sorry. But last time I checked, you don't get paid you don't throw 5,000 yards holding the ball. Like, you're not the number 1 quarterback in 2024, even though it didn't come out that way because you have a low record. But stat-wise, you're not number 1 overall at quarterbacks with 5,000 yards and I think with 42 touchdowns, something like that, for holding the ball. So I can't necessarily use that as a reason that these Bengals are what they are. The Bengals are what they are because the Bengals, I don't think they know how to run their organization. They never have. They never have. Again, they don't place the right type of value on certain players. They put the wrong value on those players. Every running back that has played behind the line of scrimmage for the Bengals is the same. Chase Brown looks like every other running back the Bengals have ever had. I think, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now, but it's the dude that actually played for the Patriots that basically never fumbled the ball. He was probably like one of the best running backs the Bengals had at one point, and he ended up with the Patriots. I just can't think of his name right now. LeGarrette Blount. I think he played for the Bengals at one point. LeGarrette Blount. Outside of him, if he was a Bengal, what have the Bengals had at the running back position? They always go find somebody. He looks good in preseason over what they drafted, and that's who they end up rolling with. And you know, at the end of the season, you know how many rushing yards that running back has? Like 800, 735, 620. Bengals have never had like a top runner. It's always put on the quarterback, to be quite honest with you. And it's always been put on the quarterback to work with what you got. Again, this team is the only team that has spent money. And then it's like almost like, damn, y'all didn't spend the money right. If you paid Chase, you did not need to pay Higgins. You could have went so many other places with that money. No, I agree. I think there'll be a problem next year. I agree with that as well. Hopefully. And then here's why they will be a problem next year. And you're all right, but I'm gonna say it by default. Mike Tomlin is gone. They're getting a brand new coach that does not have the regime of winning every year as Mike Tomlin. Yes or no? Okay. They don't have to deal with the 18 years of John Harbaugh anymore. He's gone. They don't have to deal with the ignorance of Kevin Stefanski and the Browns, who might actually end up being the number 2 or number 3 team next year. So by default, well, yeah, the Bengals should be on top of the division next year. What's stopping them? In the AFC North, what's stopping the Bengals from being the number 1 team? Again, no Harbaugh, gone. That team is about to fizzle out, by the way. That Baltimore Ravens team is going to fizzle. Mike Tomlin, gone. And that's an old Pittsburgh Steelers team. So old, they're going to be in last place next year. Second and third place will be fought between the Browns and the Ravens. So, yeah. Next year, the Bengals should be the number one team in that division. Actually, next year, the Bengals should actually be the number one team in the NFL. You want to know why? Well, look at how many injuries that have fallen to the NFL this year. No Kittle. He's gone. After the 49ers win this, you can pretty much cancel that for them if they even get that far. After the Bills win this, they're not going to stay on top if they end up winning the Super Bowl. You got Patrick Mahomes out. And by the way, if it is the Bills again, oh man, I swear to God, there was one team that can handle the Bills with no problems. Oh yeah, the Bengals. Anyway, no Patrick Mahomes. He's out until Christmas next year. So, yeah, the Bengals should actually not have a problem with running the AFC conference. As a matter of fact, I do you one better. I almost guarantee you when that schedule release come out next year. Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, the Bengals have a top 15 draft pick. Look at that. So if I'm not mistaken, I can almost guarantee you when schedule release comes out in May, I almost would be convinced that the Bengals will have a schedule that'll give them 12 wins. Easy. Because, why? There's nothing in their way. Daniel Jones is still out for the Colts. The Texans are good defensively. Offensively, they need a lot of work. You think the Denver Broncos are going to stay on top like this next year? They could. They may not. The Chargers, I don't believe in Herbert. The Raiders, they get the number one draft pick. They have the number one overall pick. The Jets got the number 2 overall pick. There is literally nothing standing in the Bengals' way to be the AFC leaders. I'm sorry. Like, I don't see it. They should, as a matter of fact, the Bengals should quite possibly have the number 1 seed going into the playoffs and have a bye week. And it's not that because I'm not picking on them like you're saying that because you think everybody is worse than them. No, what I'm saying is this part right here is right. They got 110 million in cap. The offense is locked up. Absolutely. I think they need one more piece. Personally, if I'm the Bengals, I'm using a 3rd round draft pick on the running back. I just got to get somebody else in there behind Chase Brown. I like Chase Brown, but again, Chase Brown is just like every other Bengals running back, meaning they have a limit. Get me somebody else to help with the load. That's all I'm asking for. But other than that, you're absolutely correct. Defense came around. Defense still needs more. They always come around at the end of the season. They need more. They still cough up too many points for me. So I think they should work on the defense in this draft completely. They might get an offensive lineman. I don't know if it's going to be the 1st or the 2nd round. That's what I'm not worried about. That's what I'm not sure about. But because of these reasons, and the fact that everybody that they're going to go up against next year is pretty much deflated. Yeah, they are going to be a problem. I 100% agree with that. They're going to be a problem. They just need to make sure that they could be a problem past next year. That's the issue. They become a problem in the next 2-3 years. What happened to the Bengals? That's their issue. They need to come in and be a problem. They don't know how to stay being a problem. That's my only thing with them. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had a good hour show today. We can stay tuned for next week on Wednesday. I will be back for another great show. However, stay tuned for Friday. I'm going to give out my playoff picks for round 2. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be fun. I probably will not have. I'm 5-1 right now. 5-1 right now. Don't bank on that next week. We got 4 games next week? I might be 1-3. I might go 0-4. I might not get a single second playoff round right, a single second round playoff game right. But that's the fun and joy of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, stay tuned. I will do shorts on Friday for all 4 teams, and make my picks, and then I'll give reactions after those games on if I'm right or wrong. So thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, also next week we will. No. That's after the Super Bowl. Sorry, that's after the Super Bowl. So remember, after the Super Bowl, we do our end of the season. No, I'm sorry. That is correct. Next Wednesday, we are doing our end of fantasy season ranking. So we have two rankings. We have the end of fantasy rankings, where we go over all the fantasy players and their ranking status for each position. And then after the actual regular season, we do our end of the regular season rankings. All right. So we have two type of rankings. So we do one next week, next Wednesday, and then after the Super Bowl, we'll do the after season one. All right. So stay tuned for next week. It's going to be a wonderful show. We get to talk about all the fantasy players and their numbers and how they did for you. Should you have picked this person? Who had this person off the waiver? Who didn't pick this person up? Who let this person leave? All that kind of stuff. Who lost this person? So we're gonna have fun with the whole end of season FFC before we go into the off season here pretty soon, where it's gonna be more shorts than it is live shows, because live shows geared towards the season and what happens for coming up and what happens after. There's not much that goes on in the off season outside of free agent frenzy, which we go live for that, the draft, which we go live for that, and the schedule release, which we also go live for that. So anything in between that, we will go live for anything like big newses that we go live for. But outside of that, we will have a lot more shorts and quick reactions to things that happen throughout the NFL, throughout the offseason. Okay, so just stay tuned for all of that. So you guys are up to date. Subscribe, put your notifications on so you guys can be aware every time Coach goes live or anytime Coach drops a short. So you guys will have all that information for yourselves. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, David, for tuning in. I think you were new. I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate the back and forth combo. So I wanted you guys to understand something. These are the comments. Don't say yes to me because you like me. I like stuff like this here. I love stuff like this. Find a way to disagree with me. I'm gonna disagree with you. I want to be right. You feel me? So these are the comments. Nothing disrespectful. These were positive comments. This was an engaging comment. We don't have to think alike. We don't have to think alike. What he made Coach do was just go into a further soliloquy on my standpoint. He doesn't have to agree with that standpoint. He's a Bengals fan. He can stand with the standpoint he wants. But these conversations are engaging, okay? These conversations make you think. These conversations make you want more. So, guys, follow David. Come at Coach, because Coach is about to start getting a little bit more controversial with a lot of these players coming up, especially when we start looking at these numbers. All right? So, guys, stay tuned. Go Patriots. Coach loves you. I'm out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.